Moving into August, and this is not one that's necessarily reserved for August. It can be spring. The first time I ever saw this, I rented it from the video store, and I think it was in early March. It was kind of a cold weather evening watch. Phase 4, 1974. And it does have kind of a 74, 75, depending on the source. This one says 75. 86-minute movie. I like the little PG thing it shows at the end. It's an original release. It's an old release. Paramount film. You can see in the picture here it has kind of a hot looking terrain, so it can fit into the summer, but I do watch this every year. One of the best sci-fi movies of the 70s. However, it's not campy at all. It's actually really good. Okay, here's another MST3K, The Leech Woman, 1960. This can be it could be any summer month. Just sticking it in August. And this is just hilarious. The MST3K, especially the relationship with Grant Williams and Colleen Gray. This one is chock full of funny moments. Here's another MST3K movie, one of the best ones they ever did. Return to Boggy Creek. Boggy Creek 2 and the Legend Continues is the title of this one. This one's just really, really funny, and it's got a lot of stuff based around kind of swamp and then a river scene. I usually like to go to Rio the day before watching this. I mean, the day that I watch this. This is a must-watch in August for sure. Next, we have one of my real deep cuts. Oh, Boggy Creek was 1985. Boggy Creek 2. This is one of my deep cuts, for at least, especially for horror genre. And it's never been in Horror Fest, but The Prey, 1984. This is a direct rip-off of Friday the 13th. Friday the 13th, Part 2. More, but another camping movie up in the woods. And this is one that sometimes I kind of almost forget about. And I'm like, oh yeah, I gotta watch The Prey. And some of the scenes looks, as it is with some of these camping horror movies, it looks like it could be in a cooler month, like a cool spring day, or maybe it's just a weird location. I mean, they're wearing jeans and like jackets and stuff, but there's also scenes where there's like a swimming scene and stuff like that. So you could watch this really any like fall, early fall, summer, or even late spring. But this always falls into August for me. The Prey. It's Jackie Coogan's last film. He has a part in it as like a head park ranger. It came out actually after he died, and it has just a real unique, fuzzy feel to it, and I'll kind of show you an example. Thorny in my video, but a couple of the real charms of this video is it's a short, like 80-minute movie filled with a lot of this stock footage of little insects and stuff, little butterflies, other animals in the woods for no reason at all other than just to pad the film. And it has this great scene where they're camping, where they're around the campfire and they're just mumbling. Just a lot of inaudible conversation to chew time and to get it to the 80 minutes, more stock footage. The Prey, very underrated, just comfort food type of watching. A lot of mumbling. This one right here is 1981 or 1980, again, depending. This is 81. I've always called it 1980, but 1981 is the real year. This always comes in August. Last year was a rare, like, watched it twice, once in June and then again in August. A little bit of an overkill, but this is a must-watch. every year, as you all probably know by now. The Great Blood Beach, for obvious reasons. And then Swingers 1996. This is usually the last one in August that I watch every year. Why August? No real reason. I guess it is. It's in L.A. and I guess there's some warm looking scenes, but I don't know why. Just one of those things. All right, September, we go back to Hot Moves. I watch this again, usually the last weekend before Labor Day or on Labor Day, because the ending of this film takes place on the last day of summer. So kind of a bookend of summer. Hot Moves 1984. All right, next one is called The Appointment, another short film, 39 minutes long. Rich Cristiano again, Christian film. And this one, she's told that she's going to die on September 19th, so I usually try to watch this on September 19th. So this is really the last, since the first day of fall is like around September 21st or so. What is it, Andy? So this is really like the last movie of summer. And then speaking of Rich Cristiano short Christian films, we have another exactly 39-minute film called The Pretender from 1987. Mark Rose and Crystal Robbins. Now, this is one I watch at least twice a year, and really good for September, early September, if you can, because it starts out and ends with showing them on the first day of school. It kind of works. There's a lot of Pizza Inn footage in there, so this definitely requires chowing pizza after watching The Pretender. Next is the 1979 drama Ordinary Guy. I really regret not buying this. This is the VHS cover. I regret not buying this from the video store. Someone else scooped it up. It is on YouTube, but I got to be careful. I really need to download it to my PC, because you never know, it might get removed. That's the only place you can find it. 70 minutes long, and it is a very rare Christian film. It was directed by this guy named Fred Heron, who I can't find anything else that he's done. So this is unlike any other Christian film. And right now you're looking at the IMDb page, which it was not on IMDb, so I actually made all of these updates to IMDb, including pictures that I found online, and then all the credits, which were listed on the YouTube, the movie. So just a bunch of no name actors. It's very this is just comfort food viewing for me. I just really like this. There's the time period, and plot's pretty good. It's got a bizarre ending, but this one does not have to be September. I'm just throwing it there because it's kind of not a very busy month. It can kind of be almost any month of the year, besides like December. Okay, going all the way, I'm just showing you the rare LP soundtrack to this. This is from 1982. Some places call it, say, 1981, but going all the way, very rare 80s teen comedy. And I watched this many times. I really like this. I've used some of the pictures in my profile pics before. It came in a strange VHS box I wish I'd bought, and it's worth a lot online. I've got it burned onto a DVD. It's also available somehow on Tubi.com, which is really strange that they would actually put it on there. No one knows about this movie. I often wonder, like, what was the release like? Like, was there an actual theatric release of this movie? Pretty short. I would say it's probably no more than 80 minutes, and one of my favorite 80s comedies. No one knows about this one. Going all the way. This can be... September's a pretty good time for it. I think fall is pretty good to watch this high school movie. Okay, October gets very, very busy. Obviously, I like to slip this one in before Horror Fest. Beyond and Back, 1978 documentary about after death experiences, and just incredibly wonderful, cheesy, campy dramatizations and narration from Brad Crandall. So I really like to do this one in October, Beyond and Back. So when we get to Horror Fest, there are 4 scripted movies. Like scripted, the offensive coordinator scripting his first drive of the game to perfection, knows it's going to work well. The first one is usually Splatter University from 1984. This can be viewed a couple times a year. Sometimes I do look at it in the summer, but I think it's been on every single Horror Fest that I've kept a record of. So Splatter U is always there. Next one is Island of the Doomed, also called Man-Eater of Hydra. Strange horror movie. It's a Spanish-German release from 1967, which means you have the wonderful voiceovers, which I love. You have the great Cameron Mitchell is in this. A lot of great scenery, fuzzy video on this. It's one that I discovered in 2018 and added to Horror Fest, and because it reminded me a little of The Devil Walks at Midnight, and that one. And so this movie has now been in Horror Fest ever since then, because it has a lot of those same qualities, and it's just a must-watch every year. Okay, so here is The Devil Walks at Midnight, 1971, also called Devil's Nightmare. You're looking at the back of a VHS copy. It's a Belgian, French or Spanish or something. A lot of great voiceovers, gothic, just a great castle. You have some rain. You have electricity going out. You have her, Erica. I forget her name. This is the essence of Horror Fest to me. This is one that I rented from the video store, and I have it. I don't have it on VHS, sadly, but this is just one of those films that makes you feel just so warm and cozy inside, and a great soundtrack too. It's got that real haunting sound to it. Love this movie. Devil Walks at Midnight. Erica Blanc is her name. And the fourth and final one that's always on Horror Fest is a pricey one. It's the original price of this VHS, and it's Slumber Party Massacre from 1982, and this is one that, again, it was one of the first ones I rented this one in April Fool's Day from the video store. And it's kind of become a tradition the last couple of years to have this either as the closer or the night before Halloween. I could never watch this is a Halloween ripoff and a great Halloween ripoff, and I could never watch the 1978 Halloween film ever again and be happy as long as I have Slumber Party Massacre. It's just a great enjoyable film. It's got the pizza in there. It's nice and it's 77 minutes, nice and short. It's got the pizza. You gotta have pizza after watching this with the olives and mushrooms, and Every scene is just it's a can't miss. So Bog from 1979 is one that occasionally shows up on Horrorfest, but it doesn't have to. This could be in the summer. It's got swamp, kind of hot type settings there, so it can be any time of year. It's one I never get tired of. I can watch it twice a year. I can watch it. I can slip it into Horrorfest. But Marshall Thompson, of course, that's why I watch it during those months. But yeah, Bog is just one of my favorite movies ever. I just absolutely love Bog. The Demon from 1981. This is one that it's a delicious watch. I'm telling you, it is a Halloween ripoff and a very good one. This one has been also Cameron Mitchell. I wish I had the VHS, but I had a hard time finding any copy of this until about 7 years ago or so. I was coming back North Carolina and stopped in South Hill, Virginia, which is kind of like on the border, and there was this was in January, and there was a video store still there. And it wasn't closing yet, but I saw this and I couldn't believe it. So it was called something with a K, like Kenners or something. But the video store, but the Demon is something. So it's been in Horrorfest, and it could be November. So we're in November right now, by the way. I'm just throwing it in there. It could be in January too, because I remember watching it in the cold that January. So it doesn't really have a specific month to it. So November, a very, very slow month as far as watching. Definitely watching movies specific to that month, and we'll conclude with. All right, the day after Thanksgiving. There's Thorny with a turkey leg from 1952. An episode of The Adventures of Ozzie and Harriet. Told you there would be some TV shows in here, but not many. This just perfectly captures the feel of the day after Thanksgiving, which is today. And it's Ozzie's search for some leftover turkey, since they didn't have any leftovers, and he's craving turkey. And they're talking about all these different recipes, things you can do with turkey. He talks about a turkey sandwich. That's where I got the idea for putting Thousand Island. Or just trying it on a turkey sandwich. So yeah, the day after Thanksgiving. So this will be viewed tonight with a turkey sandwich. So we'll see you. That is 4 more months down. So we'll conclude with the next video. Will be the final one. It'll be December. Some busy months. It'll be December, January, February, and then half of March. So all right, this is a shorter one, thankfully, and see you for the conclusion.